You've probably seen Claude everywhere lately, and it's going to be said that Claude is currently one of the strongest AI tools available in 2026. Not because of just one feature, but because of the combination. Claude is built around three pillars. Claude itself, the assistant. Claude Code, which is for shipping software, and then Claude Co-work, which is the agentic layer that runs tasks on your computer while you are doing something else. Now watch this. Type in one sentence to generate a video about why most people get bad results from AI tools. And then Claude pulls in a voice sample, audience details, hook formula, structure, and produces a script that could actually be filmed. And all it took was just one prompt. The whole system fires just from using that one prompt. Now that doesn't happen out of the box. There's a full setup, and here's exactly how to build it. But right now, let's get on to the setup. Okay, so starting off with step number 1, picking the model, turning on web search so you know what you are paying for. Okay, so there are 3 setup decisions and they take about 30 seconds each. So the first one is the model. So Sonnet is fast, it's sharp, it handles about 90% of what you'll throw at it. And then Opus is for when you need Claude to actually think. So that's more for strategy and research. So anything where the answer matters more than the speed, if you get what I mean. And on that note, Haiku is rarely used. And then the second part is web search. Okay, so in settings, toggle it on and then make sure to leave it on. And half the complaints that people are actually throwing out these days that Claude doesn't know recent stuff, literally, it's because they never ever flipped on the switch. Now get on to step number 2, and that is the prompt rewrite. So typed in, write me a content plan for my YouTube channel, and here's what it came back with. Consistent posting schedule, know your audience, mix educational and entertaining. And you could have Googled this all the way back in 2015, and that was 11 years ago. Now Claude isn't necessarily bad, it's just that the prompt here is bad. So Google trained us to ask short questions and to expect good answers. Now that works for search, but when it comes to Claude, it doesn't necessarily work. So the way to reframe this will change everything. So Claude is good when you treat it like a new person that you are hiring for your business. It's bad when you treat it like Google. Now if you hired someone on Monday and on day 1 you said write me a content plan, what would they do? They produce exactly what Claude just produced. It would be generic, it would be pretty basic, but to change it up you can brief them on who you serve, what you've tried, and also what is working. You want to give them something that is usable. Now it's the same thing here. Make sure that you have 3 things in every prompt. So number 1, the role. So what is Claude operating as? Not you are the expert, because that's pretty vague. You are helping to build a YouTube channel in the AI tool space targeting small business owners. That's a lot better. Then you want to make sure that you're giving it context. So your situation, what you've tried, what's working, what isn't working. The more specific you are, the better the output is. And it gets so much better. So now get on to number 3, and that is the output shape. So the format, the length, the tone that you are going for. If you want a table, then say that you want a table. Don't just expect that it's going to give you a table. If you want 30 options, then say, give it to me in 30 options. If you want it to sound like you wrote it, then paste in a writing sample and say, match this. Now watch rebuilding this. Okay, so you are helping plan content for a YouTube channel in the AI tools niche. My audience is small business owners curious about AI, but not technical. I post once a week. My last videos got between 8,000 and 22,000 views. The 22,000 view video was a tutorial. Give me 5 video ideas leaning into the tutorial format with a one-line hook for each and make it a numbered list. And there you go. It's the same model, the same Claude, but it's now output that you can actually use. Now if you want to play it safe, when you don't know what context to give it, and most of the time you really don't, just flip the script. End the prompt with, before you write anything, ask me questions that you need answers to do this. Well, Claude will then interview you. You give it answers and then it writes. The output is almost always better than anything that you would have prompted yourself, because Claude knows what it needs better than you do. So now that's prompting at its finest. The ceiling breaks when you stop typing context every single time and start building it in. Now get on to step number 3, and that is the memory. So just a quick detour, because this is the gap in every other Claude tutorial. Claude has a global memory across every conversation. Not just a project, not just a skill, the whole account. It learns who you are, what you are working on, and how you like to be talked to. Now here's the move that actually unlocks this. You've got months of context built up in another AI tool. Let's say GPT, let's say Gemini, whatever it is, you don't have to start over. In the memory settings, there's an import memory option. So Claude gives you a prompt, and then you paste it into your old AI tool and it spits out a summary of everything it knows about you. Then you just copy that back into Claude and now hit add to memory and then years of context. It's all been ported in just about 5 minutes. The single highest leverage hour that you will spend on your AI setup this entire year, and it's such a game changer, and almost nobody ever talks about this. Now Claude knows you, the rest of the build assumes that too. That takes us perfectly onto step number 4, and that is the artifacts. So this is what was built in the time coffee took to brew. Okay, working calculator, there's an hourly rate, it's manual hours per week, weeks worked a year, calculates annual cost, time saved with automation, ROI on a $5,000 setup, runs in the browser in just one prompt, no code whatsoever. That's an artifact. So when you ask Claude for something substantial, like a tool, a calculator, a dashboard, a landing page, it doesn't reply in chat. It opens a panel and then it builds the thing. So here's the prompt that works. Build me an ROI calculator for business owners considering AI automation. Inputs hourly rate, manual hours per week, weeks per year, and the outputs must be annual cost, time saved with 70% automation, annual savings, ROI on a $5,000 setup, clean, simple, mobile, usable, simple. But going into detail, and that took about 90 seconds, maybe even shorter. And now there's a working calculator and didn't actually love the colors, so typed in, make the button dark and the background white, and it updated it live. Now you can just talk to it like you were giving it feedback or like you were giving feedback to a designer. Then you can hit publish, copy the link, and now you have a tool that can be embedded on your site. You can send this to clients or you can use it as a lead magnet. A developer would have taken so long to create this, and on top of it, they would have charged so much, but here you just got it done. Artifacts also handle the file uploads. Keep that in mind. So you can drop a PDF, a CSV, a screenshot, a 200-page contract right into the chat if you want, and then just watch this. So now exporting YouTube analytics as a CSV for the last 90 days. And then drag it over. Drop it and then say, analyze my performance trends and visualize the key metrics. And then Claude actually generates a full analytics dashboard inside an artifact. It gives charts, top performers, all the patterns that would have been missed. It gives it all. And the same move works with screenshots, contracts, photos of a whiteboard. All you do is just drop it in and then you ask the question and you get the analysis. Now, artifacts are insane on their own, but they are disposable. I mean, a new chat, fresh slate, Claude basically forgets everything. Now the next feature is what makes Claude actually remember who you are. And that takes us on to projects. So a project is a workspace with its own memory, its own files, its own instructions. You basically just come back to it. So for a YouTube workflow, create a project called YouTube Scripting. And 3 things happen inside this project. Okay, so that is the files, brand guidelines, a sample script in the voice, and a 1-pager of the audience, and these are going to live permanently over here. So every conversation in this project has access to them. And then the next thing that happens is instructions. This is where you tell Claude how to behave inside this workspace. Basically tell it you are helping write YouTube scripts. Audience is small business owners learning AI tools. Tone is direct and conversational. There's no corporate language, no bullet points in the script body. Always reference the uploaded brand guidelines and voice sample before writing. And then the next thing is conversations. So now inside the project, typing the same prompt that was used earlier and saying, give me 5 YouTube video ideas. And now take a look at the difference. It knows the niche, it knows the tone. It knows that tutorials outperform opinion pieces. Why? Because it was told that in the project files. So it's not a better prompt, it's basically a better environment. Now a pro tip, account level memory is for you. The name, the role, the communication style, the project instructions are for this slice of work. Voice format, deliverables, keep all of them separate. And if you cram everything into account level, then Claude actually starts giving weird hybrid responses when you switch context. Now projects only work inside one project. Now what if you want Claude to behave a certain way everywhere? That's next, and that is skills. So here's where most people stop, and it's the most expensive mistake in your whole setup. Right now, every recurring task, proposals, LinkedIn posts, script outlines, you either retype a long prompt or you paste one that you saved somewhere else every single time. And over time, it adds up to quite a lot of wasted time. Now, skills breaks that ceiling. A skill file is instructions that Claude reads automatically when the task matches. So you describe the workflow once, then Claude learns it, And from that point on, you just say, write me a LinkedIn post. And now Claude already knows the format. It knows the tone. It knows the hook style, the CTA, without having to re-explain everything. And the mechanic that makes this work is progressive disclosure. Claude only loads the skill that is relevant right now. You can have 50 skills installed and Claude doesn't get any slower, just more capable over time. So projects are a workspace. MCP, which is the Model Context Protocol, is the connection layer. So it's basically how Claude talks to your other tools. Skills are the how-to sitting on top of both. So now, in one line, MCP is the kitchen and skills are the recipe. You don't write the skill file yourself. Claude writes it based on what you describe. So say I want a skill that writes LinkedIn posts. The tone is direct and a little punchy and short sentences, no corporate language, no hashtag spam. And every post opens with a one-line curiosity hook and delivers one specific insight and ends with a question or CTA in under 150 words. So then Claude is going to ask a couple of questions, answer it, and then it generates the skill file and then just scan through it. Give it a few tweaks here and there and then hit install. So now in a new chat, say write me a LinkedIn post about why most people get bad results from AI tools, okay? And then just watch what happens. Now the hook is under 150 words. It sounds right. And didn't explain any of that in this prompt. The skill handled all of it. And when it doesn't necessarily work, then the one-line debug. So sometimes you install a skill and Claude just for some reason ignores it. Now if it does, then here's the fix. What you need to do is type in when would you use the LinkedIn post skill, and then Claude quotes the skill descriptions back to you. And the second it does that, you'll see exactly what's vague. So maybe the trigger condition is too narrow. Maybe the description doesn't match how you actually phrase the task. Edit just one line and then you reinstall and then it works. And that's the entire troubleshooting process right there. Now you don't have to build every skill from scratch. Anthropic ships a directory. Notion, Figma, Asana, plus official ones for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF. All you do is just click the plus, you browse, and then you install. So if you've never used skills, that's how to start. Now, what you do is you pick one that matches something that you would actually do, and then you just watch it fire, and then you build your own. Every recurring task in your work is now a skill, not a prompt that you have to retype over and over, not a doc that you have to copy from. A skill that fires automatically and produces the right output every single time. Now go into step number 6. Every Claude conversation starts with. Now, before you type a word, before Claude reads your prompt, it reads your instructions every chat, every time. Some people will tell you not to use account level instructions because they bleed into context where they don't fit. They have a point with that. Now, if you write a generic 800-word bio, then the fix isn't avoiding custom instructions, it's writing them tight enough that they apply universally. Now, let's explain this in 5 sections. Who am I? The name, what you do, what you're building, who you serve, 2 or 3 sentences, not a full massive bio, and then how you want Claude to talk to you. So, the tone, the length, the formatting. Direct, short sentences, no bullet points unless asked, no great question, no EM dashes, just write it down and Claude follows it. And then what you're working on right now, which is the current goals, the current projects, and what you're pushing on this month. Update this every week, and it keeps Claude pointed at what actually matters. So, how you work, when you sleep, how you make decisions, what you need when you're stuck versus when you're in a flow. Now, this is cool because it changes the quality of strategic conversations. And then what to never do, the deal breakers. No corporate hedging, no important to note, no suggesting to hire someone when asking how to do it yourself, no lists when asking for a paragraph. So the sharper this section is, the less you'll correct Claude mid-conversation. And then the last thing is keep it tight, about 200 words across all 5. So if you are writing more, then cut anything that isn't load-bearing. And this is a briefing, keep that in mind. It's not a biography, so you don't need to give it so much. Cool. Now give it the same prompt. So before the custom instructions, it was generic, it was formal, it was bullet pointed. Now after it's direct, it's in the voice, it's formatted the way wanted, and it's the same model, but different briefing. So now go on to step number 8, and that is the connectors and research mode. So 2 more pieces, and the workflow is complete. So connectors, it's the plus icons, and then add connectors. So this is where Claude plugs into the tool that your work actually lives in. The Gmail, the Drive, the calendar, the Notion, the Slack. So connecting it to Google Drive, And now when inside the YouTube scripting project and say, pull the channel positioning doc and use it to inform the next script, then Claude doesn't need anything uploaded. It reaches into Drive, it finds the doc, it reads it and it applies it. And the information lives where it lives. Claude pulls it on demand whenever it needs it. So now the connectors that save the most time are the ones that are plugging into wherever your actual work happens. So for a content creator, that's Google Drive or your Google Calendar. For an agency owner, it's Gmail or even Notion. And all you have to do is pick one to start. Now for the research mode, it's plus icon and then it goes over to the search. So it's different from web searches because web searches gives Claude the internet for one quick answer. Research mode is autonomous. So you give it a question and it builds a research plan. It runs multiple searches that build on each other and it cross-references the sources and it comes back with a fully cited report. So 5 to 15 minutes for most queries. Now for YouTube, use it for competitive research. Give it something like research the top 5 AI tutorial channels above 100K subs. What hook formulas do they use? What video lengths perform? What topics overlap? Synthesize it into a positioning brief. And then it comes back with citations, patterns, gaps that could actually be exploited. And it used to take about half a day of manual work. Now it's about 5 minutes while making lunch. Then all you do is just use it for anything that needs depth, not speed. Competitive analysis, market research, big decisions that need to be made. And now just one little bonus. In the model selector, there's an extended thinking toggle, so turn it on for hard problems, such as things like strategy, financial analysis, multi-step reasoning. Claude actually takes longer, but it reasons through the problem step by step, so your result is actually better. The output is noticeably better across the board when the thinking actually matters more than the speed. So here's the payoff. If you start the bandwidth chat inside the YouTube scripting project, then custom instructions are loaded, memory is loaded, the skill is installed, and the drive is connected. So just type in one sentence, draft a video about why most people get bad results from AI tools. Then it pulls in the channel positioning doc from the drive and it uses the standard script structure. Now, watch how it works. Custom structured it, the project loads the voice and the audience. The drive connector pulls the positioning doc, the skill triggers, and it applies the script structure. And now the output is a draft that could be filmed with the hook, with the pacing, CTA preferences, and it's all in the voice. Now compare that to the cold start prompt that was used earlier. Write me a content plan for my YouTube channel. And here you can see the difference isn't even close. It's the same model, the same Claude, but completely different results because the system is doing the work, not the prompt itself. And that's the workflow rebuild. Now that's pillar one. Everything else, Claude Code sits on top of what you just built. So if you write code, if you build internal tools, or if you automate anything technical, then Claude Code builds apps, websites. It reads your entire code base and it ships features from a single prompt. Now, if you want Claude actually doing work on your computer while you are in another tab, opening up apps, moving files, running multi-step tasks autonomously, then Co-work is for that. Like and subscribe and I'll catch you on the next one.